All right. So we're live. That's great. And on time for a change that usually doesn't happen. We tend to be late. So very happy to be here. It's been a while. This is community call number 11. This time around, we have quite a jam-packed schedule. So I'll try to keep it short. I'll try to keep it exactly under 45 minutes. But as you guys are more than aware, these things usually have a tendency to drag on. So before we get started today, a few updates from my end. First of all, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. It's that time of year again. Like I mentioned last time on the call, we're going to have a few more calls, a few more different types of calls. So next week, we will release a schedule for the upcoming 3 months. You'll see exactly what calls are going to take place during that time frame. So you can anticipate, so you can schedule in advance. We will schedule everything for you guys, and it will be available on our Notion hub. So I'll make sure to update you guys next week. Besides that, we're also releasing our event schedule for 2023. So you guys will be able to check out exactly the events that we're planning on attending this year. We have, again, a pretty packed schedule. The offline events are going to start right around February. Before that, we're planning on hosting a few online hackathons, which is a new thing for us. We're pretty excited about that. So again, next week, we'll share more information about that. So keep an eye. Just like the online call, we will also have a schedule to show you guys exactly what offline events and hackathons we plan on attending. Today, we'll be focused a bit more on our hackathons. We will host or let the guys from Friends show what they've been working on. We will review and discuss what took place and transpired in Bogota. But before that, we have a quick follow-up to what we discussed last week with the roadmap and dev updates. So we will start off with Lior and Alon. They'll go over the dev updates. Right after that, Ariel will cover the grants. Right after that, we will introduce you guys to Marco, and Marco will talk about what he's working on and a few other updates. So without further ado, and with the hopes of keeping it under 45 minutes, I'll pass the mic on to Lior. Lior, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here and update a little bit on what we've been doing. We've been doing a lot. Hope you see my screen. So first of all, we changed the fundamentals of the way we develop stuff. We've been working on the first testnet and the second one, so like kind of testing things out. And now we are more focused on preparation for Mainnet. And for that, we changed a little bit the way we do things. Now introduce those things. We introduced SAPs. It's SSV improvement proposals, similar to EAPs on Ethereum. We've been working mostly on the SSV spec. And we've been working on some optimizations for our contracts with three. So SAPs, as I mentioned, it's similar to EAPs. The purpose of that is to have a way that we're going to introduce new features and how things are work, like it's technical features. And you're all welcome to go and check it out and give your feedback. It's very important for us. But this is the place for social truth and transparency. And once there's an SAP and if it's been approved, then we go and we start developing it, whether adding it to our SSV spec and implementations or the contracts. And this is a very important playing part of our planning and feature integration to our protocol. So, for example, the DKG that's soon to be integrated, you can see like the SAP for that and how it's going to work, how we envision it working on SSV Network. The second thing and the major thing is the SSV spec. So we've been working a lot on the spec. The SSV Network, the SSV node became like a very big implementation, coming with how the network is performing, how the consensus mechanism is working, and interaction with the contract, the registration part. And we took the core out of it and focused on that, and we put it in SSV spec. The SSV spec is mainly defines on how the consensus mechanism is working, how's the protocol, how the duties are performed under SSV. We added tests to make sure that the core functionality is being well tested in like a control isolated environment. And now the next milestone, and that's what we've been working in the past month or so, is taking this spec and aligning our implementation. The implementation is the SSV nodes that you are currently running, the operators, and aligning it to the spec, making sure that the consensus mechanisms really work the way we expected to work, and the duties are executed the way we wanted. This alignment is a very big code changes, and would bring with it some forks or network shutdown for some period of time. But it will also introduce some very well-weighted missing features in terms of all the duties that a validator is doing, including block proposals and sync committees and etc. So that's a very, very big milestone that we've been working on, and I'm very, very happy to introduce it to you guys. Maybe it's hard for the developers of you to go and see the whole implementation and see how the code works, but SSV Spec is a great place for dev enthusiasts that wants to understand how SSV works under the hood, to go in there and see it. And of course, if you have some feedbacks or something, feel free to open issues as well. The last part is the contract. So we did a lot of refactoring on the contracts that will come on the next phase, and introducing along with some new features like bulk registration and other operation stuff, permissioned operators, more oriented for security and preparation for audit, and gas optimization. We want the contracts to be like as much as gas efficient as possible. So we're still kind of like in the phase of post POC, and there's still work to be done there, but it's getting a shape. So yeah, those are the main things that we've been working on in the past few months, and a lot to come in the next few months. That's from my end.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Lior. If you guys are interested in seeing or hearing more about the spec or the planning, we also have a recording from last week where Lior talks about this a bit more. If you guys have more questions, then you can always find us on Discord. You know where to find us. A quick question that came up while you were talking, Lior, and which is addressed to you. They're asking, I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, Jaromir is asking, at the moment, he's running SSV nodes for testnet v2, and he's wondering what the benefits are and what the responsibilities are from the operator perspective for v2. I think it's a great question. Maybe you can answer that.
Yeah, not sure about the benefits. Maybe Alon will want to talk about it more. The benefit is obviously to participate in the emerging DVT technology, and it's very exciting. The responsibilities of operators, and I think like maybe we'll mention in the next community call, is the network status. The operators, at the end, they are the one that holds the network, and they're responsible for the performance of the network, right? We're in testnet. We're in a very vital phase towards mainnet, and we need like a strong network running. A strong network running is a strong running network, and the network is the operators, right? So as much as the operators will be responsible and hopefully running those operators on mainnet, it will really help us testing our implementation, all right? Like and also to give feedback, right? Like if me as a dev, those are the important things. I want to hear more feedback from operators and improvement suggestions, and also like some edge cases, and that's what we are looking for. So the benefits for an operator would be being more experienced on testnet and be more ready to run a reliable operator on mainnet. And the responsibility is to go to the Explorer and make sure that your operator that you're running is having a great performance, all right? Because that will affect also it will give you a feedback on whether you run your operator in the right way, all right? And will prepare you to be an operator on mainnet. I hope I answered the questions. Maybe Alon, you have something to add for it.
That was a great answer.
No, that pretty much covered it.
I also like to take this opportunity to extend an invite. This guy who just spoke, Leo, our CTO, is hiring, so our team is growing. If you guys are looking for Golang gigs, I'm sure Leo will be very, very happy to receive you with open arms. All right, thank you, Leo. Let's move on to the next topic. Very important, and a lot of efforts have been poured into this venture. Today, unfortunately, Ben is on vacation, so Ariel will take over and present to you guys everything that's happening with our grants program. So Ariel, take it away.
Thank you, Eran. Let me share my screen.
Awesome, we see it. Great. But you are muted. Let's see, you're still muted. Oh, here we go. Now you're good. You're good.
So I wanted to give you guys an update regarding the state of the grants program, since we haven't had one in a very long time. And I will start with a reminder. The grants program was initiated with the goal of accelerating the development and innovations of teams building on top of our network and to grow the developer ecosystem. And to accomplish this, the program has been initially funded with an aggressive budget of $3 million for grants and another $3 million for bug bounties, which we will kick off once we release our mainnet candidate version. Now, the program has been formed in May this year, and today I'll try to close a little bit the gap of what we've done until now. So let's look at some numbers. Since we started, we have reviewed and evaluated more than 40 submissions. Now, this is a huge number for that period of time, and I think we can all thank Matty for his relentless efforts and working hard behind the scene to basically hunt down every player in the staking industry. From those submissions, we have approved 21 grants, out of which 3 has completed, like Ethereum and Rated, and the rest of them are hands-on, deep in development in different stages. Now, all of these grants represent over 1 million in committed funds, out of which 400,000 has already been paid up to date. Now, if you want to keep track of all of the grant recipients, to see their proposals, to learn more about the teams, see all the expenses, everything is available, everything is transparent and updated on a weekly basis. So just head out to our grants page, scroll down to the resource section. It should all be there. Now, let's dive a little deeper into our grants. And we can pretty much segment our grants by 5 main categories. We have staking pools and staking services, observability and tooling, research, and operator node integration. Now you can see that most of the focus was initially around staking pools. This is mainly due to the notion that we see staking applications as the short-medium growth engine of our network. And you can probably recognize from all the logos here that a lot of the teams here are very known and experienced players in the staking industry. Teams like Exahash, Forball, Stader, Blockscape, Anchor, Moonstake, and 01 Node. All of these are existing and reputable providers of nodes and staking services with a combined assets under management of over billions of dollars. These are actors that are already providing staking services on many other networks, and they've chosen to use SSV as their footprint in Ethereum, which I think is very flattering. We have Swell, that is building an innovative liquid staking solution that can be used as a white label for other staking applications. We got StakeStar, which is a joint venture of other multiple operators from a network, Spectrum, Stardust, OneStar, and Infinite Lux. We got the asset management Casimir, which is integrating a staking pool directly into their platform, and ChainUp was integrating SSV as one of the options in their staking pool aggregator. And last but not least, our newest edition of Friends, which will also speak soon, which are building a buddy staking solution that itself could be used in many other innovative, cool use case on its own. Up next, under research, we have Rockex. They're developing DKG, which stands for Distributed Key Generation. This will really be a crucial part of our network in the future by enabling generation of validator keys with zero coordination. We have Consensus, who's doing a formal verification of the SSV protocol. This really helps us ensure that the protocol design is secure and works according to the spec. Now, we also put a lot of emphasis on observability and tooling. We wanted to fund a lot of services that will benefit the entire developer ecosystem in our network. We have Hal and Helman, who are developing notifications and alerting services so you can keep track of your balance, you can keep track of your operator and validator performance, something that will really help us all sleep better at night. We have DragonStake, who's building an SSV Explorer. This will be something more robust and will eventually replace our own in the future. We have Rated, who's developed a reputation and scoring system for operators, which are available through their API and dashboards. And we have FileDrive, who's developing the mechanism to access and store operators' metadata in a decentralized way, something that we could all be more knowledgeable and make better decisions about how to pick who to manage our validators. Now, all of this is great, but what is our network worth without the backbone of its operators? And for this purpose, we have also decided to fund easy to set up node integrations so more users can join and participate as operators in the network. You can use the desktop app of Styrium. You can use the hardware device of Avado to be a solo staker at the convenience of your home. And also ChainUp, which are a white label exchange provider, and their integration will enable all of their clients to spin up easily SSV nodes as well. Now, the bottom line is that I think the developer ecosystem is very vivid, it's very diverse, and it's starting to take form on all fronts, which personally I think is very exciting to see. Now, as a bonus, I wanted to also share with you an even deeper breakdown of our staking services, staking pools, sorry. We are very selective on the grants we give, and our aim is to have a lot of diversity in the services that build on us. As you can see, we have a healthy allocation between liquid and non-liquid solutions, and we are starting to have more teams serving institutional players as well. Over the next community calls, we will give even more insights, so make sure not to miss it out. And that's about it. I'll take this opportunity to urge you all to keep track of what's going on in our grants page, grants.ssv.network. Ethereum staking is becoming a huge industry. There will be room for many new players, especially once withdrawals are enabled and the market will reshuffle. So if you have any idea for collaboration or for a service to be built on top of the network, this is the time to make an application. If you need any help with your design or drafting the proposal, reach out to us in blogs or Marco or Muddy. We'll be very happy to support you. Thank you, everyone, and I'm going to pass the torch to Marco.
Before you do, Ariel, by the way, great job. Always love your slides. Always spot on, always clean and organized. So thank you for that. So as you guys noticed, we have a lot of opportunities. Our focus, like I mentioned at the beginning of the call, is on developers and hackathons, which is what we're going to be trying to focus on hosting for the remainder of the year. Right now, I'd let Marco talk to you guys about the first offline hackathon that we ran in Bogota, and at the same time, give him the opportunity to present himself as our latest addition to the DAO. So Marco, take it away, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Aaron, for the short intro. So let's start with DEF CON and with our first hackathon. So let's take it away. It was obviously in Bogota.
Don't forget to share your screen, Marco.
Yeah, I already forgot. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for. Don't worry.
It shows that I'm new here, so give me some.
New and excited to join, which is great.
Yeah, I am. Okay, you can see my screen now, right?
Now we can. Perfect.
Okay, full screen, even better, right? So let's start with the East Bogota and DEF CON, and let me share with you a little bit of the vibe of the atmosphere there. So this was our booth there, where all the hackers were coming and going. It was a great opportunity for us, for the DAO, and for the whole SSV project to really get a very valuable feedback, and then have the people build on us. One of the team's friends will be giving a presentation and joining the call. So say for that, they've started building here on the hackathon, but they are not the only one. So the vibe was great. We got a great feedback there, and yeah, we have some good teams that we are already currently working with. So let me present the winners. Not really present, but we've awarded prizes on this hackathon to 5 winners. Friends, they'll be giving a presentation later on, so no need to talk about them. They'll talk about themselves. Garuda was developed by Rohit. It's a minimalistic staking pool solution, which I'm working off and will include for the community to play with, to be able to spin off a very basic staking pool on the testnet, with all the blows and whistles, with your own staking token and everything. So that was great. Stake Together, they are building another very interesting solution for staking pools, with the focus on DAOs. So yeah, that's also a very interesting thing. Good Stake, they are building an UBI like product and want to use UBI, basically want to allow for donations in ETH, and for these donations to be able to earn more rewards. So that's also something very exciting. That's a very a new kind of outside the box solution how to use SSV. And Well3, they're also doing like this public goods, and not only that, they were doing something that you would need when you pass on your heritage, and yeah, it's a more complicated product, but basically they would use SSV for getting rewards on the ETH. So this was a great experience. I think for the team, they seem to have a lot of fun. For us as well. First to get people building, get guarantees on, but also to get a feedback on what do we, and especially I, need to work on and improve. So it's as easy as possible for the developers to build on us. Yeah, so that's the hackathon. Basically, here you can see this is the Friends team presenting their project on the main stage, and they also won one of the main prizes in the hackathon. So huge congrats to them. So about the DEF CON experience, we've established new partnerships. We need some partners to work on to get Oracle solutions on board, because we'll need that obviously, or our solutions that are building on SSV will need that. There are also other partnerships and other partners we would like to work on in the future. So that was a good place for that. Also, we've received a great feedback from various teams, most importantly from the Nethermind research group. And I can share with the community that the staking, Ethereum staking, and how to decentralize it was a huge topic all over DEF CON. There were many talks about this. And this is basically just to give some vibe of the DEF CON. So this is how it looked, and on the left you can see the panel where Ariel is talking about staking and how to decentralize staking. As I said, it was this big topic, and this is us and the Nethermind team. So yeah, that's about the DEF CON. Next thing about me, I have started to work and to contribute to the DAO this September. So I'm really fresh in, as I can say it like that. A little bit about me. You can read about me more on. I have applied through the forum, and everything is out in the open, so you can read the whole application, my background, and everything there. Just to give a very quick background, I've been in crypto since 2016. I've been volunteering in DEF CONs, and this last one in 2014. So I'm Ethereum native. I have applied because I have experience and expertise in staking and liquid staking solutions. Like the highlight of that is like I led a Mainnet finance team to we've created the MVP and got the first funding there, and now the team has a valuation of a couple of $1 million. My motivation to join the DAO was to I saw the problem of there are strong centralizing forces on staking in general, and it's not a problem only about Ethereum staking. And I wanted to keep staking decentralized. That's why I reached to SSV, the team, and try to find a way how we can work together and how I can leverage my experience and be part of something that I think is really important. And my main goals for the DAO is to develop and grow SSV ecosystem. This I plan to do by working closely with all our grantees and partners. I'm not only planning this, I'm already doing this. Anyway, also creating and improving documentation. I'm working closely, mainly with Ariel on this. Also doing tutorials. This is the next step, and I'm also looking on the playground and on our GitHub that will be so that developers can really get their hands on working with SSV as quick as possible with as few hiccups as they can. And I also have experience in mechanism design and tokenomics. So there is currently a tokenomics working group. So I'll be contributing and working on that as well. And also more very importantly, I'm writing articles about SSV and DBT. I'll have one coming next week. I'll be representing the DAO at other conferences and hackathons, obviously. And that's I think that's it for me. Great to be part of the DAO. So take it back, Aaron.
Awesome. This was great. Thank you, Marco. Two very cool things I noticed. Ariel's wearing the same sweatshirt he did in Bogota, which is pretty cool. Funny coincidence or not, I don't know. The second thing is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but one of the gimmicks that we brought to Bogota was the Nintendo. So you see a line of people lined up outside the booth. So in the beginning, people actually thought that we're a gaming service, but we are not. We were just hosting fun Nintendo games during hackathons if you guys need a little break. So again, we will be hosting more hackathons. Marco will definitely be there for those hackathons, and he will be there to help you guys understand or integrate or at least know how to approach this behemoth called SSV. So thanks, Marco. So right now we would like to bring in the winners of the hackathons in Bogota to share a few words about what they built, share a few words about who they are. So the friends guys, Stefan, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, here we go. So take it away.
Okay, yeah, thanks for having us, and excited to be on this first call here, at least our first call. So I'm representing friends here. Let me see if I can share this in full screen as well. Can you see my screen?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
So as was already mentioned previously by Marco, for example, is like staking needs to stay decentralized. So what we came up with, so we basically participated in the ETH Bogota in the hackathon. And so it was an idea that we were already brewing on for quite some time. And finally at DEF CON, we took the chance to actually implement an MVP version of it. Is that instead of creating another staking pool solution, we would try to create a solution where everybody can basically start their own staking pool. And that is sort of the concept of friends. We call it staking con amigos, to be a little bit local to the location there. So it's an acronym for friendly, riskless Ethereum non-custodial staking. So why did we build it? Because first of all, we know that staking is hard, expensive, risky, and centralized, while it should be fun, should be fault tolerant, social, and rewarding. So the general idea is depicted here in this picture here. So the idea is that there is an operator, a friend, who collaborates with other of his friends to jointly create one pool, one new staking pool, and spin up new validators or one validator. So basically the operator friend, he creates a friends pool, which is a staking pool, but it's a private pool. So he can invite other people to deposit in it. So it's not a public pool, it's really private for his and his group of friends. The idea is that all his friends can then deposit through a specific link. And then he can start up and host himself like a new validator. Now, the idea is that we implemented SSV as technology into the validator, so that even though they are staking from home and they're doing it as decentralized as possible, they're still resilient for all the downsides that there are, like slashing risks and being offline and so forth. So that's all mitigated by SSV technology. And then, of course, all the rewards, both from staking and also the withdrawals later on, can be redeemed by the individual friends who participate in one pool. To demonstrate it, this is sort of the demo that we gave. So this is our MVP. So first of all, just to clarify a bit what this thing does, as first the friend operator, he can create a new pool. So he takes the initiative to kickstart one. And this will, with the factory, deploy a new pool contract on chain. What happens secondly is that he receives a link which he can share with his friends. So he sends the link to his friends. So this is, for example, one of the friends. It has an ENS integration, and the friend can then deposit a certain amount of ETH into that specific pool. The ENS is indeed shown to build more trust. So here you see on Etherscan that is actually the deposit is being done. After the deposit is being done, so we see the pool balance increase, but also an NFT is minted. So this represents the stake that he has in the pool, so his fraction of the pool, and also will allow him to withdraw the rewards later. Here's integration with SSV. So you can create with Ethereum tools specific keys for that contract. Once you've done that, you can upload it. Well, and then so through our contract, we will do the deposit into the deposit contract on chain. So you cannot steal funds from your friend, because once they deposit in your pool, it's fixed. Then the next step is to select other people from the network of SSV to participate in your pool. And also the funds, so the SSV tokens that are compensated towards these operators, they're coming from the contract. So you need to give it an allowance to the contract to do that. And then you need to register your SSV validator. Now for the hackathon, we are redirecting to the website of SSV. The plan is that we do that in the actual app itself. And here's just the next steps. So the validator is created and it starts working. And so the nice thing about these NFTs is that you can also, it's an NFT, so you can also trade it. So if you decide to leave the pool, You can also like sell it on a secondary market, and it shows not only the deposit but also all the rewards that are claimed in real time. So that's basically the rundown of the application. So we have a website, friends.fun. Let me see. Let's hear our next. Yeah, I'll show that later. So basically, our vision on staking is that we should create more small staking pools that are run by home stakers to create more decentralization and thus increasing the security of Ethereum as a whole. So here's a link so you can try it out, friends.fun. It currently has a sort of a waiting list. It also has an invite for a Discord server. So if you want to like meet us, feel free to come over there. And so this was basically the proposal that we did for the hackathon. And as already mentioned, so we were very glad to win the main prize of SSV also with this contribution. And then later on, we also applied for a grant, and we, as Ariel already mentioned, so we were so happy to receive it. So now we are organizing ourselves and started working on creating this into a real actual product. Our goal is when SSV goes to mainnet that we are ready with this solution, so we can actually transition together, hopefully, together with the SSV team. So once we are on mainnet, that people can actually use this solution as an alternative to like bigger staking pools, so that basically anybody can spin up their own staking pool. So that's, I think, sort of the introduction from of Friends. So I hope this clarifies some things. So unless there are any questions, I will give it back to you, Aaron.
That was perfect. We will also follow up with some more content and perhaps another additional call dedicated just for the Friends guys. But this was a great example of the power of the hackathon. So this is an idea that we didn't think about. It's an implementation that was new to us as well, and it was born because of the hackathon. So, like I mentioned, and I'll keep on mentioning it, we're very bullish on the hackathons. We're planning on hosting more of them, and with the hopes of finding more friends like Friends. A little pun on words. Never mind. All right. As I'm sure you guys have noticed, we've been doing a lot of work around the DAOs. We've been doing a lot of organizational and restructuring. We brought in more talents like Marco, also bringing in more talents. Next up, I will let Adam talk to you guys about one of the most interesting proposals to come out of our forum in recent months. And this will help us in the future structure the DAO in an even better way and help you guys get the clarity and transparency of it. So Adam, we can hear you.
All right.
Cuss words, yes.
By
the way, in the background, while Adam is talking, I will be sharing the proposal in the back screen so you guys can take a look at it.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Wait, sorry.
I will be sharing, but we cannot see you.
Give me a sec. All right. Can you guys see me and hear me?
See you and hear you, and the proposal is in the background, so you are good to go.
Perfect. All right, guys. During the call, you heard about a lot of different efforts that the DAO and core team are pulling in. There are a lot of things going on in the background that most of you are not aware of. And I think these calls are super important to create transparency for the community, to kind of get across what everyone is doing. I'm sure that some of you came across a new proposal that came live to the forum, I think it was a week ago or so, called the DAO Genesis Committee. Now, this proposal essentially was created by a group of DAO members called the D Leaders. The person who posted the post is Ben Affleck. Some of you came across Ben in different calls. He did also the SSV Digest and a lot of other activities in the DAO. Now, since you already know that there are a lot of different activities that are kind of might go amiss in our communication with the community, there are a lot of things going on. The grant committee already issued $400,000 in grants. There are a lot of major things going on with the DAO. it's super important to kind of focus on a few things. So one of the things is obviously to create transparency. So essentially, how will the DAO be able to kind of report and monitor all of the work and essentially make sure that there are checks and balances with the community so everybody know what's going on at all times. Obviously, take the existing work that the DAO is doing and kind of improve it and organize it. So it's a second effort, which is super important. And last but not least, how do we improve everything that DAO is doing currently? And that's sort of to create a roadmap to decentralization, to make sure the DAO has more independence, more capabilities, and essentially governance is taken to the next level. I think we can maybe move from the proposal to the video. Dean. So yeah, so these are the kind of the main buckets of or efforts that we want to tackle, right? Or the D leaders specifically want to tackle. And I think it's also important to kind of understand who the D leaders are and what kind of role are they serving in the community. So the leaders have been following the project for, I think, over 2 years. Super important to everything we're doing. Basically, it's 5 people that have stayed with us for a very long time. Yurik, Fod, Ben Affleck, Taiga, and Spooky. And they are taking a lot of different roles in the DAO. Some of you are aware of what they're doing. Some of you are less familiar. They're doing everything from treasury management and reporting, all the way to leading working groups, to important work around tokenomics, and to essentially being a connective tissue between the DAO and the core team, which is Blocks. At Blocks, as you know, we are kind of focusing on creating the protocol and developing the node and the smart contract layer. So that group of people essentially created the proposal in order to promote those 3 efforts. So how do we create transparency? How do we improve and organize the current work that we are doing? And how do we create this roadmap for the DAO to get better over time, be more independent, have more resources, and be sustainable? The idea is to essentially take that group of people and elevate them to a position in which they are handling all of those efforts. That group of people, just as a small reminder, they started as sort of moderators in the community. So they helped out on tech issues, tokenomics, incentivized testnet, and other efforts that we did in the past. They graduated to a structure called the marketing, which was a group of people that was in charge of essentially growing the protocol and making sure that there is a lot more education out there. A lot more people know about our work. And then recently they became the leaders. So these are predominant roles in the community that are in charge of specific efforts in the DAO. Basically, the proposal is based on taking those 3 efforts, promoting them, and ensuring that the 5 people that are promoting those efforts so far are also taking essentially the DAO, transparency, and execution to the next level. The proposal kind of details their scope of work, so what exactly they're going to do and what are the deliverables that they are in charge of. Also, their compensation. So they're doing a lot of work. Some of them are kind of transitioning to work part-time or even full-time for the DAO. So it's super important to kind of make sure they are well compensated for their work. Nobody wants to work for free, and they did that for quite some time. So a year and a half of basically working for free for the DAO. And I think now that the DAO has more resources and the ability to kind of support more contributors, it's only fair to have those people be well compensated for their work. Essentially, this is kind of the scope of the proposal. So the 3 efforts that we mentioned a few times already, the people that will be in charge of those efforts, the deliverables that they are going to commit to in the next 6 months. So essentially, the proposal is going to run in the next 6 months, and essentially the structure within the group. So inside the group of the 5 people that I just mentioned, there will be 1 person who will be in charge of the group, organizing the group, making sure that the work kind of transitions forward, and and essentially connecting between the group members, the DAO, the core team, and that person specifically is going to be Ben. Next to Ben, there'll be 4 people that will have specific work for the DAO Genesis committee, but also are going to continue working on their current projects, from grants to tokenomics to multi-sig, and the list goes on. And essentially, another kind of important aspect in this proposal is the fact that the compensation base for the people who are going to join that committee, they have already been working in the DAO for the past 2 years, and specifically taking more executive roles in the DAO for the past 6 to 7 months. So we want to be able to compensate them for the work that they already did. This is kind of titled as backdated compensation, and moving forward to kind of give them an additional 6 months of compensation to kind of execute on all of the different goals that the committee has. Eventually, the kind of overall target and the overall mission that we want to achieve is to have a very strong DAO, which is sustainable, which is independent, which is run by the community and is open for the community to come in and contribute and promote different efforts. I think that there are a lot of things that are being neglected right now. One thing that comes to mind is obviously the Chinese community, right? We used to have community calls, and we used to have moderators in Chinese. And this is an effort that we kind of neglected over the past 1 or 2 months, and we're going to go back to that. Another effort is localization, and the list goes on and on and on. I really encourage everyone to comment on the proposal and come and ask us and D leaders questions. If you guys want, we can have another AMA to kind of really focus on the details of this proposal and what it means for the DAO. But as it says, this is the Genesis Committee. So this is what really starts the DAO in its 2.0 format, right? If we were a group of people trying to create a public good, and everybody kind of did a different sporadic effort around creating that public good and making sure SSV becomes a reality. Now we need to graduate to a DAO 2.0, where you have a lot of working groups, a lot of people coming in to contribute, a lot of moving parts, and you need sort of a core team in that effort to kind of manage between the different working groups, different departments, the treasury, the community. And this essentially is the DAO Genesis Committee. So again, if anyone has questions about that, we're very welcome to kind of discuss this with the community. And the kind of idea is to have this in snapshots probably next week. So please vote on this, because it's super important. There's another appendix to this proposal, which is a consulting service. So there might be a case in which that group of people will need additional help to kind of organize their thoughts and get more experience from people who already created successful DAOs. And if this will be the case, they will have a budget of a few tens of thousands of dollars to kind of onboard outside consultants and make sure that we are making the right decisions. I think that's it from my end.
Awesome. So again, like I anticipated, we don't have enough time for everything. Crypto Mamba is asking Adam if you can say and repeat what you just said in Chinese. I'll save you the trouble so you can do it afterwards. We promise you guys to organize in Chinese.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll do something very brief in Chinese. 那所有那个在线的中国人，我知道我们有点忽略中国社区，那可能是1-2个月都没有那个社区相关的电话或者那个大会啊什么的。然后我们可能是原来社区管理这方面的人离开了我们这个DAO。那我们现在正在找新的人进来，所以如果有人想举手，然后那个管理我们中国社区，然后安排这些社区电话呀什么的，那赶紧跟我联系好吗？
I hope that was okay. No way of double checking that. You're getting a bunch of follow-up questions in Chinese on YouTube, so Adam, please attend to that at your own disposal. A lot of the Chinese members have raised concerns. Just like Adam mentioned, we are definitely picking back up initiatives that were started and were left untouched a bit. So Again, because we don't have enough time, I'll skip the part where we are talking about the integrations for this week. We'll do it next week. Just to let you guys know, we're extending invitations for almost all the roles. So we're looking for additional members to join DAO efforts, additional members to join, community efforts, and that includes localization, that includes Chinese, that includes Russian, that includes everything. So over the past few weeks, we've collected a lot of those tasks, a lot of the originally, let's call it pro bono tasks that were issued, and we're organizing them into what we call a D-work space. So I'll be sharing that. We don't have enough time to present it because we're way past 45 minutes already. I'd like to leave a few minutes for questions. There are some questions that I collected during the call. Most of them, as it stands, are either addressed to Adam with the Chinese community, so you take it with the Chinese community after answer them, and the rest are mostly for Alon. So the first one might be a bit premature, but I think it's a very interesting question. They're asking about the DKG big question. Where do we stand with DKG? Maybe you can share a few words. I know it might be a bit premature, but maybe you can shed some light on that.
The DKG, for the most part, we're working still on checking it out. I would say it's about 70% ready. I'm hoping kind of in, let's say, beginning of next year, we can add it to the node and then test it. So yeah, that's where it is. If anyone wants to join and kind of track it, it's on the spec GitHub. Yeah, that's pretty much where it is.
All right, terrific. An additional question that I guess was anticipated, we should have seen that coming. WEN, so when Mainnet, Alon, can you share a few words about that?
Yeah, we don't have a date yet. I think kind of the main focus right now is V3 testnet, and once V3 testnet hits, it's going to be hopefully shortly after that.
Awesome. There is one question that is addressed to the community, so I'll take that one. They're asking if we're looking for additional help, additional ambassadors, and how can I join? So to answer your questions, we are looking for any additional help we can find. There's too much work for us to manage by ourselves. So we are opening the floodgates for anyone who wants to join. Next week, just like I mentioned, we'll have a lot of things coming up. One of those things will be a get involved page. How can you get involved? There are opportunities which are completely developer oriented, opportunities that are community oriented. So there's a bit of everything for everyone. Again, not enough time to share it. I'll share it in a post in the Discord chat later on. In the meantime, I'd like to thank all of the participants for showing up, specifically to the Friends guys. It was delightful having you guys. It was also great having Marco introduce himself. Next time around, we will have Ben, hopefully, covering some of the topics that he wasn't able to cover today. By the way, he sends his regards. So again, a bit over 45 minutes, under 50. So I'm pretty pleased. For next time, I'll try to keep it under 45. So thank you so much for your time. We will answer any follow-up question that you may have on Discord, YouTube, or otherwise. If it's a very sensitive question, you can always DM us. And that's it. If you have anything else to share with us or would like to participate in the next community calls, just reach out to us and we will make that happen. So again, thank you everyone. And we hope to talk to you all very, very